So 8 years ago, I was a hopeless mess, was searching for someone or something to fill my empty soul. I was a drug addict, an alcoholic, and I was in a terribly abusive relationship. My senior year, I became a mother, and I was in love, and I just knew he loved me. I later found out he had another girl pregnant at the same time I was pregnant, so needless to say, I was devastated, and I became a single mother. I needed to make ends meet. I had worked different jobs, but it just didn't pay the bills, so I started working in bars, and it paid the bills, but I began drinking every day. Drinking every day led into doing drugs. And, before I knew it, I had a couple DWIs and couldn't pay my bills because I couldn't keep a job. I didn't have a license, and so my son had to go live with his dad because I was homeless, and I wandered the streets just for whoever would take me. My family wanted nothing to do with me. They were done. This particular point in my life, I was scared to death of what was going to happen to me and my son.
Some of my feelings towards my mom in general were just sadness that I didn't have what a lot of my friends had, as in the stereotypical father and mother relationship, and it's happy all the time. And so I wasn't mad. I was just like, I wish my parents were together. I wish my mom wasn't the way she was.
I needed relief. I couldn't live like this anymore. I had been running, and finally I needed peace and unconditional love and stability. And I just needed to know how to live. And I just said, God, help. And that's all I had to say. And from the moment I said that, my life completely changed. God led me to a treatment center where I stayed for 2 years. 30 days wasn't enough. In that treatment center, I learned about if I just kept God at the center of my life, everything else would fall into place.
And then as she was progressing, she moved out of the treatment center that she was staying in, just hanging out with her. I could just see that she wasn't that same drug and alcoholic that I lived with whenever I was a child, and she had a different motive and different mindset for living.
While in the treatment center, I had to make amends for my past, just start restoration, at the same time start restoration with my family. I started seeing my son every other weekend, and he was mad at me at first, but I told him, I'm your mother and I love you, and as long as you will let me, I will be a part of your life. And I was very faithful, and I would take him to church with me, and I learned that I had a Savior and a Redeemer, and that I was loved unconditionally.
After I moved in with my mom, I had this friend in one of my classes. He introduced me to some other Christian guys, and I was invited to Calvary's senior high camp for the first time. It was interesting just to see how different all these people were. At first I was like, this is different, but it was just neat to see people living for something different than what I've always been living for. I had been attending regularly for the next year until the next summer camp came up, where I knew people, I had deeper relationships with them. Then it was just an awesome experience as I walked towards Christ, and that was a summer where I accepted Christ. I'm definitely a lot better off having just a mom who understands what it means to live for Christ, and we're challenging each other in a healthy way, and just being able to question each other when we think we might be slipping, and where that's something that wasn't present before.
The church family here at Calvary has just stepped in and taken over different areas in his life to help him grow as well. And I'm so grateful for that. We would not be where we are today without the help. At times, I still will have guilt and shame. It sometimes will pop up, but I can be paralyzed by that fear and guilt and shame, or I can use my past mistakes to glorify God's kingdom. I choose not to waste another drop of Jesus' blood on that. And so when it does pop up, I say, no, I'm not. Look what Jesus did for us.